Hi there, welcome back to my channel. In the next two videos we are going to talk about the English adaptation for Department Q. It's a series that I've enjoyed and I totally encourage you to go watch it if you didn't see it. So if you want, you can skip my videos and just go and watch it, because believe me, you are going to enjoy it. Now let's see. So the general premise for this whole series is Carl Mørck, which is a brilliant, socially withdrawn detective haunted by a messed up operation in which a colleague was killed. His partner Hardy was left paralyzed and Carl himself was injured in the neck. Ordered back to work and into therapy, he is reassigned to a dusty basement office leading Department Q, a PR-driven initiative to clear long-forgotten cold cases. His unlikely team includes Akram, a former Syrian police officer with a shadowy past, now working as a civilian investigator; Rose Dickinson, a young officer grappling with PTSD; and Hardy, Carl's wheelchair-bound partner, who rejoins the team later. The department's first major case is a 4-year-old disappearance of Merritt Lingard, a high-profile barrister who vanished without trace. Following a controversial trial, Merritt received threats, and during a ferry trip with her non-verbal brother William, she was abducted. The investigation uncovers a chilling truth. Merritt is being held captive in a hyperbaric chamber by Ailsa Jennings and her son Lyle, who believe she destroyed their lives and are pulling out their revenge in a twisted form of justice. In the season's climax, the team rescues Merritt. Carl is shot while shielding Akram, who kills Lyle in self-defense. Ailsa throws herself to death rather than face arrest. Carl also uncovers corruption involving Merritt's former superior, Stephen Burns, and uses this leverage to secure long-term funding for Department Q. The season closes with the team united: Carl, Akram, Rose and Hardy, ready for whatever comes next. But one question still hangs out in the air. Who was behind the shooting that scared Carl in the first place, and why? So this is the main idea of the whole show. Now I'm going to do a short review for each episode. So episode 1. During an investigation, Carl and Hardy are ambushed. A colleague is killed, Hardy is paralyzed, and Carl is left traumatized. Reassigned to Department Q, Carl teams up with Akram to reopen the Merritt Lingard case. The story jumps between past and present, revealing that Merritt is still alive, imprisoned in a hyperbaric chamber. Episode 2. Carl juggles therapy sessions and a strained home life with revisiting the Lingard case. He and Akram speak with the original lead detective and visit William's care facility. Carl suffers a panic attack during a press conference. Meanwhile, William disappears into nearby woodland, a sign that the past is stirring. So episode 3, Carl and Akram retrace Merritt's last ferry journey to the remote Isle of More. Rose requests to join the team. The pair learn that William was severely injured by Harry Jennings, whose father, Jamie, blames Merritt for taking legal guardianship of William. Episode 4. Rose travels to the island to follow new leads. Akram discovers a crucial note, details unknown, that dramatically shifts the investigation's direction. Episode 5. The team closes in on a possible link between Merritt's disappearance and a suspicious murder. Carl makes headlines after a violent confrontation at a newspaper office. His boss, Moira, begins her own therapy sessions, discussing Carl's volatile behavior. Episode 6. Police arrest a suspect for an earlier incident in Leith Park, but Carl remains unconvinced. Returning to the scene, he loses his temper in front of the press, further complicating matters. Episode 7. Carl makes explosive accusations against influential figures, putting himself in the crosshair. Rose learns that Sam Hague, the journalist Merritt was involved with, is not who he claims to be. Episode 8. Still captive, Merritt is psychologically tormented by her kidnappers, who present her with cryptic clues. Back at Department Q, the team begins connecting the dots, revealing a much darker skin. And in the last episode, episode 9, a home video reveals Lyle's own childhood trauma, solitary confinement in the same hyperbaric chamber. William identifies Lyle as his attacker, confirming the team's suspicions. Lyle murdered the real Sam Hague and assumed his identity to get close to Merritt. Carl and Akram locate Merritt just as Lyle begins increasing the chamber's pressure. Carl is shot protecting Akram, who kills Lyle. Merritt is reunited with William. Elsa commits suicide on the ferry. 3 months later, Carl secures Department Q's funding by blackmailing Burns. The team is complete. Carl, Akram, Rose and Harley, now using crutches, but the mystery of Carl's shooting remains unresolved. Because in the first episode, the gunman who attacked them poses to lock eyes with Carl. His gaze almost regretful and spares him. In the final scene of the season, Moira calls Hardy into her office alone because she has the shooting case file open on her desk. So she may already suspect who pulled the trigger, or she wants to know more detail about something that she can't ask Carl. So I think there's no doubt a sequel is coming. So, which one of these characters did you like best? Please tell me in the comments below.